This is one of a series of videos that will help you memorize your vocabulary from the Al-Kitab textbook in preparation for your Arabic 131 course. This video will cover the Lesson 3 vocabulary, Al-Mufradat للدرس ثلاثة. First word that you need to memorize is التاريخ. 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 It has a kha at the end of it. A kha. A kha. التاريخ. 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 Notice how I'm not pronouncing the word al with the lam. I'm pronouncing it only with the hamza alif in front. The right? Because ta is a sun letter, so it's at. We're doubling the sun letter instead of pronouncing the lam and the word the. So we're saying at التاريخ 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 history. الآن 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 is your next word. الآن, that has an alif madda in the middle. Al-an, so it's a longer ah sound. Al-an, which is a combination of an aleph and a hamza aleph. It means now. Al-an. Mabruk. Mabruk. Your next word is mabruk. Mabruk, which means congratulations. Mabruk. Mabruk. And then the response to mabruk, if someone says to you mabruk, is baraka Allahu feek. In dialect, it's feek, but you want to say fiki or fika in MSA, in Modern Standard Arabic and Fusha. Baraka Allah fika or fiki. Baraka Allah fiki or fika. So God blessed you is essentially the literal response. The God blessed you. So baraka Allah or Allahu fika or fiki. The next word is preparing you to say a different word in the next couple slides. So ibn is a son. Ibn. The plural of that of ibn is abna, abna, abna. Those are sons. Ibn, abna, and then you've seen before walad and awlad. This is also a synonym for son. It's not walid, it's walad. Walad is a son, and awlad are sons or children. Walad, 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 awlad. Ibn, abna. Now, you've seen this previously in the previous unit or lesson. We had khal is a maternal uncle, and khala is a maternal aunt. The plural versions of these. The masculine, as often as the case, is a broken plural. It's akhwal, 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 maternal uncles. And then the plural for feminine is sound plural, as is often the case with feminine plurals. Khalat, khalat, khalat. Now here are your paternal, so the uncles and aunts on your dad's side. We already covered your mom's side. These are the uncles and aunts on your dad's side. So am with an ein, am is a paternal uncle. Am and an amma is a paternal aunt. Amma, and then as often as the case, the plural for am is masculine plurals, human, so it's broken plural. Uh, Oftentimes it's ammam, 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 and then the human plural for the female only group is, as often as the case, is a sound. So we just add the suffix. We open the tamabuta out into an alif ta. So it's ammed, ammed, ammed. These are paternal aunts and uncles. So how do you say cousin? Well, cousin is a combination of the term uh, for son or daughter, followed by another noun, which is either the paternal uncle or aunt or the maternal uncle or aunt. So your word for cousin is a combination of two words. It's either the son or daughter, and then of is implied, and then you put that maternal or paternal aunt or uncle afterwards. So here are some examples. Ibn Amma is a cousin. It's a male cousin on your paternal aunt's side, or the son of your paternal aunt. The next one over to the left is bint am. Bint am. Now that is the daughter of your paternal uncle, and so that's just another word for cousin. Bint am, and then you have the plural examples underneath. If abna, excuse me, abna khala, abna khala. These are the children of your maternal aunt. Abna khala, abna khala. So they're cousins, but the literal translation is the children of your, or the boys. It's a mixed group. It's a co-ed group, or it's boys only of your maternal aunt. And then banat, khal, banat, khal, banat, khal are the daughters. This is a daughter-only group of your cousins of your maternal uncle. Banat, khal. So there you are with all different versions, examples of cousins. How do you say grandfather? Jad, Jad, Jad is grandfather. The plural is ajdad, ajdad. So this word not only is used for grandfathers, but it's for grandparents. So if someone says ajdad, it also means the purple, the co-ed group of grandparents, ajdad. Grandmother is Jeddah, 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 Jeddah with the soft H tamabuta at the end of it, right? Jeddah. And then grandmas only, grandmothers only, a group Jeddah, Jeddah, Jeddah. How do you say army? This is one of your vocabulary words for the textbook. It's jaish. Jaish, that's an army, an army. You could say al-jaish, the army, al-jaish. You could say al-jaish al-amriki, that's the American army. Al-jaish al-amriki, the American army. Juyush are armies, armies, the plural. Juyush, juyush. Now we're getting to school subjects here. Of course, you can study military science at your university, so that's why we covered Jaish. But you can also study law at your university and be taking Arabic as an elective. How do you say law in Arabic? Al hukuk, al hukuk, al hukuk. Now, this word al hukuk means the field of law, but it also means rights, like human rights, for instance. The rights that are granted in a Bill of Rights, in a constitution, right? Al hukuk means both separately law as a field of study and rights of a human being. Now, we have another word on here that's not a vocab word. It's al qanun. These are in English, this word means rights as well, but it means um, I'm sorry, it means law as well. It means law as well, but it's like an individual law that the legislature has passed. Qanun. Qanun is one individual law that the legislature has passed, which is distinct from law as a field of study, right? Okay. This is an expression that you might use. It's also vocabulary for you. Fil haqiqa, fil haqiqa. Notice how I'm sort of squishing together the fi and the al, and it's sounding like fil. That's how you'll hear it in practice. Fil haqiqa, fi al haqiqa is pronounced as fil haqiqa. It means in reality or actually, right? So actually, and then you make your statement. So it's like an interjection, right? Actually, fil haqiqa, here is one of your verb conjugation charts. And now we are going to cover the verb to teach. Now, you might think, well, I think I've already seen this verb before. And yes, you saw this verb, but in the measure one form, in the form one form, right? It only had the dal, the ra, and the seen one time each. And that verb that you learned was to study. Now, here you have a shadda in the red box above the ra, and that indicates that we're doubling the letter underneath it, right? So now we have actually four letters, and it's dar. That's the first syllable. The first syllable is dar. The second syllable is ra with the fatha above the shadda, ra, and then the third syllable is sa. Dar ra sa. Darrasa. This is to teach. It's sort of a reflexive of to study. So this is a very, it looks like the same verb, but it's not. It has the shedda and it means to teach. It's to cause someone to learn, to study, right? In the classroom, it's to teach. So not only do you have this shedda above it that sort of changes slightly the syllables, but when you conjugate it in present tense, remember that darrasa means not only to teach, it means he taught. But when you conjugate this for present tense, we're going to focus on present tense only for this semester and for the first, for the first semester, Arabic 131, we'll focus on present tense. So when you conjugate this, the stem changes as well. The short voweling changes as well. So instead of like with to study, it was adrus, adrus, adrus. This is very different the way you pronounce this. This is udarris, udarris, udarris. This is not adrus, it's udarris. So ana udarris, I teach or I am teaching. I teach or I am habitually teaching. I teach, right? That's I am teaching, right? If you want to say you are teaching or you teach, it's anta tudarris, anta tudarris, anta tudarris, anta tudarris. And then here's our first instance where we have not only a prefix, as we always do in present tense conjugations, but we also have a suffix. It's for you feminine, it's anti, anti tudarrisin, anti tudarrisin, anti tudarrisin. Now, how about saying it masculine or he teaches? Huwa yudarris, huwa yudarris, yudarris. Yudarris. Huwa yudarris. What about she teaches or it feminine teaches? Hiya tudarris. Hiya tudarris. Hiya tudarris. What about we teach? Nahnu nudarris. Nahnu nudarris. And by the way, this pattern of short voweling is consistent for measure two. There will always be a dhamma over the prefix. There will always be a fatha over that first root letter. There will always be a kesra underneath the second root letter and the shadda. So that pattern of short voweling will always be the same for all form two or measure two verb conjugations for present tense. So it's good to memorize that pattern. Now, how do you say you all teach? Antum, antum, you all, antum tudarrisun. Here's another one where we have a suffix, not just a prefix. Antum tudarrisun. Antum tudarrisun. Antum tudarrisun. What about they teach? Hum, hum is they. Hum yudarrisun. Hum yudarrisun. Hum yudarrisun. And remember, we can always add direct objects, attach them as suffixes to the verb to indicate when we're using transitive verbs. Someone is doing something to someone else or something else. We can always add a pronoun suffix, a direct object, an object to the end, and that's what we're doing here in the bottom left of the slide. We're saying udarisuha, I taught her. Udarisuha, udarisuha, I taught her. Udarisuni, I taught myself. Udarisuni, I taught myself. And then the verbal noun, the concept, the idea of teaching is at-tadris.